Mark Howard has been training business owners for over 20 years with online business tools and strategies that help them grow and succeed. If you want to grow your business fast and save time, then keep listening. If you want to grow it even faster in less than 3 months, then visit www.businessmachine.biz. And now, here's Mark.
Good day, this is Mark Howard from the Business Machine, and in this episode I am going to talk to you about content for your website, content for your social media. How do you get the best content for Facebook ads and SEO content, for example, for YouTube? We're going to discuss that. Plus, I'm going to take you through a review on probably one of the best tools on how to get content today at a really great cost.
Did you know that you can get even more from Mark Howard, including mini marketing sessions, one-to-one sessions, and even access to his private VIP Facebook group? Interested? Then head over to www.patreon.com/businessmachine and check out the different memberships he has on offer today.
Okay, let's get started here. So when we talk about content, we're talking about the written words. So it doesn't matter if we're talking about content for your website, if we're talking content for your Facebook advertising, social media, even YouTube channels. Everything that has the written word has to have content. The problem we have these days, especially when it comes to content, is that people tend to either plagiarize, you get a lot of that going on at the moment, or they struggle trying to find the right keywords, the right choices of headlines, etc., that will convert customers and actually drive traffic to the social media or to their website, or to attract people on Facebook, for example. All of these are massive issues. Normally what we'll do in circumstances like this, especially as a web designer, we'll call in a content management company or a copywriting company. And before I get into the review in a second of this tool that I'm going to be talking about, I just want to make it quite clear now that content writers and copywriters are absolute paramount in today's society. These guys really know how to write content. They do all the research. The good ones will do all the research. Plagiarism free, and they will deliver a service that you can be sure will really grab the person's attention, especially when it comes to things such as LinkedIn profiles, about pages, and so on. Trust me, I've had a couple of content writers I use, both happen to be female, both extremely good, and they write for magazines up and down the UK as well. So when you look at content, it's always worth considering having a content writer or paying out a little bit extra. But when it comes to social media, especially when it comes to writing social media posts, when it comes to doing the adverts, etc., forking out for a content writer could be a little bit too much. Yes, it's fine for some of the bigger things, some of the bigger projects, for example, the pages. If you need a page or a blog post, for example, then yes, you need to get a content writer in. But what do you do if you're having to write out content, as I said, for social media or for something particularly small? That's when we need to change tracks a little bit. And that's when this platform I'm going to talk about now really comes into play. This platform is called Jarvis, and if you want to know more about Jarvis and how you can use it and take advantage of their offers, simply click on the link below this podcast. It's in the description. I'll put a link in there and you can take a look at what Jarvis is all about. But what Jarvis is, it's an AI system. And what that means, basically, it uses artificial intelligence to create content for you. So it's very easy to use. They have a number of what we call templates and recipes already built in. And you can choose the type of content you want. So where I would tend to use this quite a lot, for example, is rather than on my website, and I can use it on my website, by the way, and I can use it on my blog posts as well. And I've even seen people using Jarvis for writing books very, very quickly. And when I'm talking quickly, the people that actually claim to write books literally within less than 2 weeks, which using a system called Boss Mode on Jarvis. Now, I personally haven't had the opportunity to play with Boss Mode. It's on my to-do list, and I've looked at the videos, I've done the training, and trust me, it looks absolutely amazing. What Boss Mode does, it enables you to write a couple of lines, maybe half a sentence, click the Boss Mode, and Jarvis literally writes the rest of the paragraphs, 2 or 3 paragraphs out for you. which sounds like a dream, right? But obviously, when you go through it, you have to just double check what's actually being written, because sometimes it won't make sense. That aside, where do I use it? As I said, I tend to use it more for social media, doing the social media posts, advertising. And there's a couple of really great little extras on Jarvis, which has really helped me out massively. So, for example, you've got the Facebook adverts. Now, I actually use the Facebook advert section more for actually creating Facebook posts, believe it or not. And that's so strange. But when I'm doing social media work for people, I need to know what I want to write. And it needs to be done in a way that attracts attention. So what you do is you put in the person's company name. So I could put in the Business Machine, for example, write a little bit about the products or the service that I want to talk about at that time. And you can even put in keywords as well. So I might put in something along the lines of web designs for startup businesses, and then put in a couple of keywords associated with that as well. And then you can put the tone of voice on there. Now, the tone of voice can be witty, humor, those types of tone of voice, but you can also put a personality in. So if you wanted it written in the style of Tony Robbins, for example, you could put in Tony Robbins as the style of voice, and it would actually write out a paragraph for you. And you literally click go, and it will bring out 3 to 5, how many variations that you want of different post ideas, and it'll come up with content. And you can take that content and literally paste it in, as long as you're happy with the content. What I tend to do is take 2 or 3 of those, look at them, and maybe mix them about a little bit and match them to where I want it to go. So that's the first thing what I would tend to do. Then I want a great headline. Well, that's easy enough with Jarvis as well, because there's a Facebook headline section as well. And what I can actually do is I put in the content I've done earlier on from Jarvis, and it gives me 5 or 6 different headlines that I can actually use. It's really easy. And trust me, it's taken my content writing for my social media posts, from me scratching my head thinking, oh, what do I want to write about today, to actually being able to produce great looking content. Now, I did this as a bit of an experiment. I started using Jarvis probably about 3-4 months ago now. I came across it completely by accident. From another review from a content writer, and she actually said how great it was for these small projects. I thought, it's worth a go. Let me try it and see what happens. I didn't tell any of my customers what I was doing at the time. I just used this system straight away. Thought, I'm going to use this, and I'm going to put the content up using the Jarvis system and not in my own style, and see what will happen. Like I said, the first thing I started to do was save a lot of time. Stop all the head scratching. What am I going to do? How am I going to do this? That's the first thing that I found was fantastic for myself and for my business. Started to gain time back, because now I had a tool that was taking up a lot of my thinking time and taking that away from me. The thing I noticed when I was doing this was, actually, I got a phone call from one of my clients that I do social media for, and he called me up about just in general, about just to catch up as we normally do. And he would call me maybe once a week, twice a week. And at the end of the conversation, he said, I just want to say, Mark, he said, your content you're doing on my social media posts in the last 4 weeks, which is when I started to use the Jarvis system, in the last 4 weeks has been absolutely amazing. He said the content has gone way up. He said it's so professional, the way it's coming across now. He said it's really easy. I love it. He said, what have you done? I said, we just changed the way we work. That's all we've done. And we're just trying to bring in more clients for you. But the truth of the matter was, I was using this Jarvis system. And the proof is in the pudding. My clients started to see a massive change. So now I'm sitting there thinking, wow, this is not a bad program, right? It's cost $20 per month. Again, it's completely affordable for virtually anyone. It does upscale, by the way. So basically the way it works on a number of words. So if I think for $20 a month, I get something like 20,000 words. And then what happens is every time I ask Jarvis to generate content, if it generates, 100 words, it takes that off of my monthly allowance, if that makes sense. And then what happens is if I get to the bottom of my monthly allowance, I can then top up $5, $10, whatever else, just to add more key volume searches within the program itself. But I can also buy top-end packages as well. So if I decide to buy the boss mode section, for example, you get unlimited keyword searches or keywords putting into the system. The great thing about all of this, though, is if you was to put that to one side, I mean, $20 is not a lot of money for this. And when you actually go through the system itself and you actually see what's available to you as a user from the different recipes and the different templates available, you can start to see why a lot of SEO companies and a lot of social media people are starting to turn to systems like Jarvis because of the time-saving factor. And not just that as well. It's also about Jarvis actually bringing up content they probably haven't thought about doing. So, for example, if I want to do a blog post, and I think, I need to do a blog post around this today, but I'm not sure what I'm going to write about. Or even a podcast. I've done this with podcasting as well. I can actually put in content and just say, I want to talk about this. And it would come up with 5 or 6 different headlines that I can use for that particular content. And I've actually, as I said, I've done this with the podcasting. What I've done is I've actually gone in there and said, I want to be talking about X, Y, Z on my podcast. And whoosh, it's brought out 5 or 6 different topics for me. And straight away, I've got 5 or 6 topics I can be talking to on my podcast. So that's a great tool. And again, it's time saving. I'm not scratching my head or trying to find ideas for my podcasting. Going forward, there are other sections as well. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, I haven't tried these as yet, but I will be. It's just something I've noticed, and I'm thinking, yes, that looks really cool. One section that's really caught my eye is the YouTube SEO. Now, what they can do from that is you can actually create YouTube headlines or titles for YouTube videos. And what it do is you type in the details in your video. The Jarvis go off and it finds similar videos within your genre and similar styles of videos around yours, and actually come back with headlines that have worked. But it's not stealing those headlines from other videos. It's not plagiarizing. What it do is it turn those headlines around, change them slightly around what you're trying to do, and give you headlines that have worked and been searchable on YouTube. More important than that, it also does the same for your description as well. Descriptions that are more searchable on YouTube. So from all of this, I'm talking literally $20 a month. It's not a lot of money, right? Is it worth doing it? Absolutely. Look at the time I'm saving. Look at how I'm using it. I'm using it for my social media. I'm actually now using it for my Facebook adverts. So for my retargeting adverts. Just launched a retargeting advert for a client yesterday. Put on literally put up exactly what they wanted to do. Let Jarvis done this work. Again, like I said, you have to manipulate it a little bit, I found. So sometimes I would change it about. If it gives content, I think, no, that's not what I'm after. I would just have to change my initial inputs around slightly, get it to regenerate, and then it come back with content I'm after. Or maybe I need to take 2 or 3 different parts of the content it's generated and actually then put that back in as well. So there's a number of ways you can do it. What I would say to you is try it out. You really can't go wrong with it. It's a fantastic tool. Is it going to replace copywriters and content writers in the future? Answer, no. It will never replace that. What can you use Jarvis for? You can use it, as I said, for Facebook advertising, your SEO, your Facebook posts or your social media posts. You can use it for your LinkedIn profiles, your about page. You can use it on your website. You can use it for blog posting. You can even write books. And there's so much you can do with it. And I'm literally only touching on, and I am promising you, I'm only touching on the outskirts of this because there's so much more you can do. The thing to do right now is to click on the link below in the description and go over and have a look. They've got loads of videos and there, lots of testimonials. And I know sometimes the testimonials, you think to yourself, how true are these? Look, you're getting this from me, right? If I didn't think this is good, and you've probably heard some of my reviews in the past, and I'm very, very honest with my reviews as well. If I think something's not right or I don't agree with something, I will tell you. If I think you're wasting your time with something, I will tell you. With Jarvis, you're not. Okay, I'm not being sponsored by Jarvis, by the way, although the link may be, depending on how far I got with the podcast, might be an affiliate link. If it is an affiliate link, then obviously you don't pay for anything. That's just something that Jarvis will thank me for. But the point of the matter is this: if it was rubbish, I would tell you. If I said it was going to replace content writers, I would be lying to you. What I'm saying to you is this: if you're looking for an easy-to-use content generating tool for your social media and I'm going to say for your blog posts as well, because I know not everybody wants to use a content writer for blog posts, but for your blog posts as well, if you're looking for those types of content, then I'd say now you really, really cannot go wrong with how Jarvis is going. And I believe that this type of system is pretty much going to be the way we will be looking at working in the future for ourselves and for our clients.